Right, welcome to this Codex review for the Orks. It's been a long time coming, but finally Ork players can get excited. We've got an Ork Codex that we can use. So Games Workshop very kindly have sent me a copy early ahead of time, and in this video here it will be the full review. So it's going to be all of the units and upgrades and so on. It's going to be a tactical review as well, so we'll be looking at units that are stronger and weaker, and then we'll cover things like warlord traits, relics, stratagems. Will all be covered here in this video as well. So it's the full strategic lowdown here for the Orks from their new codex. So if you've been following the channel for a while, you know that I've already got Orks, got into Orks in a big way, and then everything's really been on pause for a while because of the wait for the Ork Codex. They have struggled with the index, but now I think there's no doubt they're a lot more powerful now with the Codex. Some great stratagems, a lot of stratagems that seem to be very fun as well, which is great for the Orks. They're a great fun army to use and get a lot of enjoyment, a lot of laughs when playing the Orks. But at the same time, you want to try and make them an army to be feared as well. So that's the artwork on the front. As I said, Games Workshop sent me a copy early. I usually get my Warhammer stuff from gamingfigures.com, so you can check them out. They do Games Workshop at a discounted rate. Just means you can get your 40k stuff and other gaming systems at less of a cost from them. So you can check them out. That's gamingfigures.com. So I'll go through the early pages here as well. My one came with a rip for some reason, but just got gripped the wrong way in the machine by the looks of it here. So there's some of the artwork. Here, the barbarous hordes. So primitive in a way, but just through weight of numbers often and just through sheer brute force, they can overwhelm their foes. You're looking for like a crushing charge of the Orks. That's sort of the theme and the fluff behind them. And it's the green tide coming in and just smashing all in their paths. That's the kind of theme. I try and build my armies that way. So you're looking for hordes really, and for large numbers of Orks, but at the same time elite units and characters in there that can do the nasty damage. Greenskin culture, talking about the background and their structure of their society and so on, the nature of the beast. The Ork gods, Gork and Mork. Then you've got the different clans. There's now advantages or bonuses depending on what clan you choose, which is great news. Tribes and clans, the Goth clan. I think this is the ones I'm going to go after. The black, red and white is the colours that I chose anyway. So mine, the Orks that I have, if you see them, and then checkered pattern and so on, that fits in just nicely with Goths. I do like the bonuses that the Goths get, so it all matches up very nice. If you see the Ork battle reports and you like the way my Orks have been painted up, there is a painting tutorial here on the regular channel on YouTube. You can check that out and I'll show you from start to finish how to paint the Orks up. And then for a deeper and in-depth painting tutorial, there is the Plus channel where I paint one of the larger Ork vehicles just to tackle the bigger, more difficult project. So if you like the way the Orks look, then check those tutorials out. That's the Goths. Then you've got Evil Sons. Yeah, I could even pass for that almost, because again it's the red, black and white, bit of yellow in there. The Blood Axe clan, the Death Skulls with their blue, Bad Moons with their yellow. Have always liked the yellow colour scheme. The Snake Bites, the Freebooters, and then you've got the glyphs, the famous Ork glyphs here, and what they mean. Gathering the Wire, the Savage, what is it, Sausage Stars, Savage Stars, just, yeah, the Greenskin expansion, the Green Tide. This is your timeline, what they've been up to across the galaxy. Famous piece of Ork artwork. Now this inspired me actually for my the previous Ork lists that I've been running. You see the Ork army pouring in and then just overwhelming the foe. Look at them, smashing the Tau gun line to pieces. Oh, the glory and the great feeling it is if you can manage to pull that off in a game, to smash into a gun line and overwhelm them in close combat. You know, going to take a lot of shooting, a lot of damage, and then finally reach the line and then let loose. Very satisfying if you're able to do it. So, and then what inspired me was that the tide coming in and then the bigger machines behind supporting, so that was the kind of way I tried to play the Orks. Here, war bosses, mega nobs is the different types of Ork units and their background: pain boys, mechanics, weird boys, burner boys, looters, tank busters, trucks. It's a beautiful codex, it really is nicely put together, it's really well presented. Battle wagons, some exciting developments with them, options available. War bikes and death copters. Mega track scrap jets, boom decker snaz wagons. These are the new models here, custom booster blasters and shock jump dragsters. Death killer war trikes, the new war trike, does look very nice. And then the rucker truck. Yeah, rucker truck squig buggies. Here. Then Orks do have access to flyers, got the Dagger jets and blitzer bombers and so on. Mech guns, Gretchen and Runtfords, killer cans, death dreads. If you want to see, I have a new list actually for the Orks. It'll be on the Plus channel first of all, under an army development video. I proposed the new list for the Orks, and then subscribers can leave suggestions and I can adapt and change it. Do listen to what people say, and you can have an influence on the final list. But I do have an exciting new list for the Orks. The plan is to try and get that list assembled and then get the Orks out there into games as soon as possible. Got Gorkanauts and Morkanauts and the Stompers. Storm Boys, there's lots of units available. Commandos, Boss Snick Rot, Flash Gits, Captain Badrock, Guzgar Fracker, Mad Doc Grottsnick. That's just a showcase of the models. What I would say, a little bit of disappointment here for the Orks. No looted wagons. Again, it's not been put into the codex, which is a tragic shame. A lot of Ork players do like doing conversions, and I've enjoyed doing conversions, putting some of my units together. So they're not in there. And then I would advise you, if you're an Ork player and you have the index, you probably want to keep a hold of that index. If someone wants to clarify in the comment section below, you're still, even though when the new codex comes out, you're still allowed to use entries from the index. I think it's if the entry is not in the codex, then you can then go back to the index and use that. Because some units, a lot of units, are not in here. I've been trying to put an army together, and Big Mek on a war bike isn't there. A regular Big Mek isn't in this codex either. Unless I'm missing it here, a war boss on a war bike isn't in here either. So there's a number of missing entries, and so I believe that correct position here is that you are allowed to use the index then to use those units in your match play games. If I'm wrong, or if it's incorrect in some way, then just clarify that in the comment section below. If someone has already written the right position on that, then just hit the like to it and push that comment up so people know what the official Games Workshop position is. But I'm sure you're allowed to use the index, and then you're able to draw on units that are not found in this codex. There's a lot of stuff missing here. So I think it's Games Workshop using like current models, you know, their plastic range and so on, and then other models which are more obscure and harder to get a hold of, like a regular Big Mek, for example. I had to find the lead one on eBay, and so he's not in here. You have to go to the index to find him. Nice showcase here. There's some beautiful units of the Orks. They really are good. Do look great. That's the Stomper. That's a showcase of the new vehicles here. And then an example of an army here as well for the Bad Moons. So, let's talk about clans here. We'll cover the rules for them later on, but you choose your clan. Similar to like Space Marine chapters, if you choose Ultramarines, there's some benefits. It'll only affect Ultramarine units with that keyword. So the idea is to keep your clan the same, and then any bonus bubbles and so on that you're using during a game, it can apply. If you have the wrong clan and it all mixed up, then you're going to struggle. Some of those benefits won't be allowed. You've got to match the clan up. So that's just saying you choose your clan, whichever one you're going to go for. So rules here, Daka. Now there's some great improvements here with the Orks. This is one of them. Each time you roll an unmodified hit roll of 6 for an attack with a ranged weapon made by a model in this unit, that hit roll succeeds regardless of any modifiers. So, you know, you've got some Eldar shenanigans taking place. You know, it's, it's -1, -2, -3 to your hit rolls. Previously, you may not have been able to get your hits with the Orks, but now you're always going to be hitting on 6s no matter what. It's very, very helpful for the Orks, regardless of modifiers. So that is excellent. In addition, immediately make an additional hit roll against the same target using the same weapon. This is if you roll a 6. These additional hit rolls cannot generate extra hit rolls when firing a weapon with randomly determined characteristics, for example Bubble Chucker. Any additional hit rolls use the same characteristics as the hit roll that generated the additional hit roll. That's fine, yeah, same stat line. This ability does not affect weapons that automatically hit their target, like flames. Okay, so always 6s to hit with your shooting, and then when you do roll 6s, you get an extra shot, and then you roll up for that as normal. That is excellent. All of a sudden, that is a massive improvement for Ork firepower, and the new list that I'm working on is going to be half firepower, half close combat. So, you know, firepower, you can't ignore the firepower aspect of 8th edition 40k at the moment. You've got to have some kind of firepower in your army. So this is very, very helpful for the Orks. So Daka, excellent roll. That has immediately made the Orks a lot stronger. Here we go. Is the same. You can reroll charge rolls for this unit. When doing so, you can reroll all or any of the dice. So nice and flexible, that roll, and it really helps units that have that trying to get into close combat. So you roll a 6 and a 1, you can just reroll the 1, or if you roll 2 2s, you can reroll both the dice. So it's nice, you can choose. So that's really good. Mob Brawl. When using the leadership characteristic of this unit, you can use either its own leadership characteristic, which is like a 6 or a 7, or you can choose for the characteristic to be equal to either the number of models in the unit or the number of models in another friendly unit within 6 that has this ability. So pretty much the same rules. Excellent help there. So if you've got a mob of 20 boys, you take 10 casualties. You can, and there's 10 remaining, you can take your leadership 10 instead of leadership 6 or 7. So that helps. Or if there's another unit nearby that's nice and big, then you can borrow the morale from that unit within 6 inches as well. So that helps Orks with their morale. So this is all good. Yeah, I've been going through this codex a lot because I've been trying to assemble a decent army. There's some big improvements here for the Orks and some real nasty combinations. So a lot of high damage output potentially from Orks for shooting and for close combat as well. But we'll cover that as we go along. And then you've got Speed Mob here. The first time this unit is set up on the battlefield, all of its models must be placed within 6 inches of at least one other model from the unit. This is like if you're taking 3 of the new vehicles, for example. Buggies, by the way, gone. They're not in here either. So Ork buggies, if you want those, you need to go to the index for them. From that point onwards, each model operates independently and is treated as a separate unit for all rules purposes. That's just your the usual squadron rules, same as other factions have. This is your war gear list, which we'll refer back to when we come to some of the entries. So Guardscout Fracker now is an HQ choice. Here at the front is the first option that's available. I'll call out the power levels to you here and the points costs. There has been some pretty good points reductions as well, which is really good. So named characters, Guardscout Fracker, 235 points including war gear, so he is expensive if you decide to go for him. In your list, power level 12, movement 5, weapon skill 2+, ballistic skill 5+, strength 6, toughness 6, 8 wounds, at 5 attacks, leadership 8 and a 2-up save. He's got a twin big shooter, custom claw and stick bombs. So twin big shooter, that's assault 6, range 36, strength 5, AP 0, 1 damage. Custom claw, times 2 strengths, he's going to fight at strength 12. It's AP minus 3 and 3 damage. And then stick bombs, which we'll cover now. It's range 6, D6, grenade, strength 3, minus 0, 1 damage. So here we go. Mob Brawl and Daka. The Great War. Friendly Ork infantry units within 6 of Guardscout Fracker at the start of the charge phase can charge even if they advanced. In addition, add 1 to the text characteristic of all models of friendly Ork infantry units if they made a charge. Move this turn and Guardscout Fracker is within 6 inches of that unit when they're chosen to fight. So, loads of extra attacks. Great bonus that you can grant to other units nearby. Prophet of Gork and Mork, he has a 4+ invuln save. That'll help him out. And the boss is watching. If a friendly Ork unit fails a morale test within 6 inches of Guzkar Freka, he can restore order with a brutal display of violence. If he does so, the unit suffers D3 mortal wounds. The morale test is then considered to have been passed. So yeah, if you do get a situation where you take a horrific dice roll result for morale, or a situation where a unit's been knocked down so heavily it's like an auto melt, you know, the last few models are automatically going to run, you can just do D3 mortal wounds and keep them in line. So good morale situation for Orks. Yeah, not too bad at all. So the war boss is next. A regular Ork war boss. It's power level 4 and 65 points. Now, I really rate these because you can kit them out pretty cheap, and then you can make them really good with the use of stratagems and relics and warlord traits and so on, and you stack those things on, which are like free of charge, you're not paying points for them, and you can make a war boss all of a sudden actually really good. As you'll see, it's all these layers that you can build on top of just a standard character. But the war boss, as he comes, power level 4, movement 5, weapon skill 2+, that's an excellent start. Ballistic skill 5+, strength 6, toughness 5, 6 wounds, 4 attacks, leadership 8 and a 4 up save. It's a good stat line. He comes with a combi weapon with rocket launcher, which is 12 points, I think. Yeah, 12 points. So you can fire, you can go -1 to your hit rolls if you fire both, or you can choose one or the other. The rocket launcher, range 24, assault 1, strength 8, -2 and 3 damage. I don't think that's changed, it's still the great weapon it was. 3 damage is excellent. Shooter, assault 2, combi weapon. Yeah, the shooter, range 18, assault 12, assault 2, strength 4, AP 0 and 1 damage. He's got 2 sluggers. Yeah, interesting. 2 sluggers. I wonder if you're allowed to fire both in close combat. Range 12, pistol 1, strength 4, AP 0 and 1 damage. The attack squig, which is no cost, it is 0, so you may as well take it. It says here the model may take an attack squig. That is strength 4, -1 and 1 damage, and that's each time you make it. Each time a model with an attack squig fights, you can make 2 additional attacks with this weapon. You'll be on 2s to hit, so you can pick off a couple of infantry with it. And then here, this model replaces its combi weapon with rocket launcher with weapon from the shooty weapons list. So you can go combi weapon and sculpture. So 17 points, and the sculpture will get you. It's going to be D6 auto hits. Sculpture, range 8, assault D6, strength 5, -1, 1 damage. It's auto hits, yeah. So Sculpture's decent enough. That costs you 17 points. And then the other one's just a custom shooter, so just a cheaper option, which only costs you 2 points. Custom shooter. Yep. Okay. So that's the shooty options. Model may replace its power claw. Oh, power claw, yeah, it's up here. That's the standard loadout with a big chopper. Big chopper's 5 points. Power claw is now 13 points. Just double check. Yeah, 13 points. Again, stat line's not really changed, but you can enhance it now with the Codex, the extra bonuses you can grant. So the big chopper is +2 strength, so you'll fight at strength 8. Isn't bad. And then -1 on the AP and 2 damage a time with the big chopper. It's a decent enough weapon for 5 points. You can go for power claw, which is ×2 strength, so you'll fight at strength 12. AP -3 and D3 damage, and it's -1 to your hit roll, so you'll be hitting on 3 pluses when using the power claw. But there's some great benefits to help you out. So War, friendly clan, so you choose your clans. That's Goths, for example. Infantry units within 6 of this model at the start of the charge phase can charge even if they advance. That's that final charge in, quick rush. That's replicated there with that wire bonus. Very useful. Just those extra few inches with an advanced roll can just make sure that you get your charge to go ahead, so that's useful. Then he's got the breaking heads there, your D3 mortal wounds for morale. So that's the war boss, which I rate the war boss as a very cheap option. My war boss configuration works out about 90 points, so a decent HQ, very cheap. So your big mech options then in the Codex here, this is why I'm saying keep a hold of the index, is you've got big mech with a shock attack gun, that's the plastic one. And you've got the big mech in Mega Arm, which is the plastic one that comes inside the Mega Nubs box. But regular big mech on a bike, not here. So, which is the two that I want to use. So I don't want to use these two, so I need the index. Big mech with shock attack gun is power level 4. It's 55 points to start off with. I'll just cover the points here. So the shock attack gun is another 25 points to pay for that. And then stick bombs. Yeah, and a grot oiler is... Now I've tried looking this up, but maybe accompanied by a grot oiler. I think the grot oiler doesn't cost you anything anymore. It used to be 4 points. There's grot lash, grot rigger down here. This is not in the war gear section. There's a grot prod, but it's not in melee. And in the ranged weapons, there's a grot blaster, but that's it. So, oh no, the cost is here. Here it is. Sorry, grot oiler, 4 points. Yeah, so you pay for it. It's mentioned. It's not over here. It's over here with the actual unit entries. So, stick bombs and the grot oiler. Yeah. So the shock attack gun then. Or his stat line first of all, movement 5, weapon skill 3+, ballistic skill 5+, strength 5, toughness 4, 4 wounds, 3 attacks, leadership 7 and a 4-up save. But it's the weapon you're after here. It's range 60, heavy D6, so yeah, you could get that one shot and then all of a sudden you need 5s to hit. Or you could get 6 shots and then 5s, but even then you're going to get like 2 hits on average with that. Strength is 2d6, so between 2 and 12, strength between 2 and 12, AP -5 and d6 damage. Before firing this weapon, roll once to determine the strength of all its shots. If it's 11+, each successful hit inflicts d3 mortal wounds on the target, in addition to any normal damage. So you could get a very, very nasty hit with it. And that's it. Big mechanic. At the end of your movement phase, this model can repair a single friendly clan vehicle model within 3 inches. This model regains D3 lost wounds. The model can only be repaired once per turn. So it's useful for repairing vehicles. The danger side with him, sort of doing the tactics in this video as well, is unless your vehicle's parked next to you or you drive your vehicle next to you, he may have to move to reach that vehicle. And if he moves, it's a heavy weapon, you're then suffering a -1 to hit rolls. So, and this weapon's very extreme, from exceptionally useless firepower to you could get really, really good hits of it. So I'm not so keen on that. Good because he's a character, yes, you can hide him behind your lines, it'd be difficult to target him. And yeah, you could get a couple of decent results with it, but it's not a particularly reliable weapon. Looks great though, does look really good. The grot oiler, once per battle, grot oiler can assist his master in making repairs. If it does so, the model being repaired gains an additional lost wound. So just once in the game, you get an extra wound added on to your repairs. Then when rolling to win, this unit uses the big mech's toughness. Spartans on the battlefield. The death of a grot oiler is ignored for purposes of morale. The grot oiler is considered to have the character keyword for the purposes of shooting attacks. Yeah. So that's him. I'm not so keen. The model looks great, but so I rate the war boss at the moment. So next is the big mech in Mega Armor. So you can get the bits for that inside your Mega Nubs plastic kit that comes with all the bits you need to make this model. So, but for here he's an independent character. So big mech in Mega Armor. The starting cost for him is 77 points. You can take a grot oiler as well for 4 points. It's power level 6. So you're going to have your movement 4, so you're very, very slow. Movement 4. Weapon skill 3+, ballistic skill 5+, strength 5, toughness 4, 5 wounds, 3 attacks, leadership 8. It's very good leadership. And then 2 up save. He's armed with a custom Mega Blaster, which is 9 points. Range 24, Assault 1. Strength 8, -3 and D6 damage. I think it used to be D3, so they've upped, I think, the damage on that. If you roll 1 or more unmodified hit rolls of 1, the bearer suffers 1 mortal wound after all the weapons attacks have been resolved, so you can damage yourself. And he also comes with a Power Clause, another 13 points as well. So you're looking at about 100 points here for this character. Power Claw lets him fight in combat. So this model may replace its custom Mega Blaster with a Kill Saw, one of the shooty weapons. So Kill Saw, a Kill Saw, there's 2 options here. A Kill Saw is 15 points and 23 points for 2 Kill Saws. Kill Saw will be ×2 strength, so strength 10, -4 and 2 damage. And it's -1 to your hit roll, so you'll actually be hitting on 4+ in close combat. And the Power Claw we've already seen. This model may take either a Teleport Blaster or a custom Force Field. So the Teleport Blaster is 11 points, quite cheap. And then the custom Force Field is 20, which is pretty much what it was before. The Teleport Blaster, range 12, Assault 3, Strength 8, -2 and 1 damage. If the model suffers any unsaved wounds in this weapon, is not slain, roll a d6 at the end of the phase. If the result is greater than the model's wounds characteristic, it's slain. It's a bit scary. You could get a really good roll and just remove a model from play. So, interesting weapon, that one. Yeah, real scary, that, for like removal of characters and so on. Frightening. Then your custom Force Field. If this model is equipped with a custom Force Field, for any Orc units, it doesn't matter what clan, have a 5+ invuln save against attacks made with a ranged weapon. With ranged weapons, wholly within 9 inches of it. So for this wholly within 9, you've got to have the whole vehicle within that 9 inches of where the Big Mek is. Or if it's a unit, you can't just have one model inside. You've got to have those models wholly within. So 9 inches, that's basically an 18-inch bubble overall. It's 9 inches either way from the middle. So it's a big enough size to hide a sizable force. While a model equipped with a custom Force Field is embarked, so if you then stick him inside a transport, the vehicle transporting has a 5+ invuln save against attacks made of ranged weapons. Instead, so you lose your bubble if you put him inside a vehicle. That's why I'm interested in taking the Big Mek on the bike, because he can keep up with the vehicles but he's not inside, and then he creates this big bubble. He's got big mechanic, so he can restore wounds. Models within 3 inches, yeah, D3 wounds. So it's useful. It's useful. But the other two, which are in the index, I think I'm going to go for the Big Mek on the bike, and then just the regular Big Mek, which is like a cheaper loadout, and then take him purely just for the 5+ invuln, which will help the Orcs. If they don't get turn 1, you know, dread going second. You really want to try and protect them, and a 5+ invuln save. You know, that's one further shots coming through, you stand a chance of blocking with an invuln save. So I think that's going to be very useful. So next is the Weird Boy. So a Weird Boy is 62 points. I was a bit disappointed when I read through this, but then later on, that makes these a bit better. So power level 3, movement 5, weapon skill 3+, ballistic skill 5+, strength 5, toughness 4, 4 wounds, 3 attacks, leadership 6, and a 6+ save. He's armed with the Weird Boy staff, which I don't think you're going to have to pay for. No, it's 0, so cheap enough points. Usual Orc rules. The Weird Boy staff is +2 strength, so strength 7, AP -1, and D3 damage. I think it's pretty much stayed the same. War energy. Add 1 to the psychic tests taken for this model for every 10 Orc models, excluding Gretchen, within 10 inches of it when the hit roll is made, or when the roll is made, to a maximum +3. So that's really helpful. God, that's really helpful. If the result of the test is 12+, this model immediately suffers perils of the warp. So you've got to be. This is what I mean about rules that are fun at the same time. So you've got to be careful with the Weird Boy. God, a bit volatile. So this is what disappointed me, and then it's not so bad after all. This model can attempt to manifest 1 psychic power in each psychic phase and attempt to deny 1 in each psychic phase. It knows smite and only 1 power from the power of the wild discipline. But what they've done here is here in the stratagems. So warp head stratagem, 1 command point, use the stratagem before the battle begins, select a weird boy model from your army to become a warp head. The model knows 1 additional psychic power from the wild discipline and can attempt to manifest 1 additional psychic power in each of the psychic phases. So there you go, you can still get your 2 psychic powers a turn. I would definitely, if you're going to take a weird boy, definitely take 2 for sure. We'll come to those psychic, it makes sense to cover them now. We'll cover the psychic powers now whilst we're considering this unit. I used to take the weird boy for 1 power, and that was for power vomit, but that's gone. Oh, so it used to be pretty good. It was a power to be feared. It was the old flame template, and you could just catch a load of people out of it. But so Ed Banger is number 1. So warp charge value of 8. So you do need to be in the crowd there to try and make that go off. 8's quite difficult. If manifested, roll a d6, compare it to the toughness characteristic of the closest enemy model. There's a visible to it within 18 of the Psyker. If the result is higher than the model's toughness, it's slain. That is nasty. It's quite tough to make it work though. You've got to get your 8, which I suppose is doable if you get in the crowd there and get your bonuses. And then you've got to try and go over the model's toughness. So even a toughness 4 model, you've got to get a 5 or a 6. But if you do it, the model's dead. So, and the range isn't bad. Yeah, it's not that great. Look, because it says here, compare it to the toughness characteristic of the closest enemy model. So you can't choose a character from behind enemy lines and so on. It's got to be the closest model. And what's that going to be? You know, like a guardsman or something. So it's difficult, that one. Maybe later on in the game when there's just a few characters around, you could ambush them and try and play that. But it's awkward to get that just right, that one. So great idea, but tough. Warpath. The warp charge value of 7. If manifested, select a friendly orc unit within 18 of the Psyker, increase that unit's attack characteristic by 1 to the next Psychic phase. That's not bad, but it's only 1 unit. You've got to choose a unit. So you could be surrounded by 10 units, but you're only going to be able to give that to 1 unit, sadly. The warpath is okay. The jump. This is a good one. There's a warp charge value of 7. If manifested, select a friendly orc infantry unit within 12 of the Psyker, remove that unit from the battlefield, and then set it up anywhere on the battlefield more than 9 inches away from enemy models. That unit counts as having moved for any rules purposes, such as firing heavy weapons. So, yeah, you know, tactically that's very useful as well. Orc players are very fond of taking that ability to move slower moving orc boy units on foot and then just bomb them up the table, and then potential charges there to take place as well. So, the jump is certainly useful, and you only use 7, so there's a fair chance of making that one work. Fists of Gork is next. So warp charge value of 6. If manifested, select a friendly orc character model that is visible to and within 12 inches of the Psyker. Add 2 to the model's strength and attacks characteristic at the start of your next Psychic phase. So, yeah, that's decent enough as well. They're okay, these powers. They're not bad. The Crunch. The Crunch is a warp charge value of 8. If manifested, select an enemy unit within 18 inches of the Psyker, roll d6 for each model in that unit. For each roll of a 6, the unit suffers a mortal wound. Then roll 2d6, and a 10 plus, roll d6 once more for each model in that unit. For each roll of a 6, the unit suffers a mortal wound. So quite difficult to get 10. Quite hard to make it go off again. Is there a limitation? No. There's no limitation like a lot of these rules. It says, you know, up to a maximum of 10 dice, but here it could be 30. it could be a huge horde of something, and you're able just to roll dice for all the models. By the looks of it, yep. So great for a bit of stamping all over hordes. Wow, yeah, that's not bad. And the Roar of Mork. Roar of Mork is a warp charge value of 8. If manifested, subtract 1 from the leadership characteristic of enemy units whilst within 18 of the Psyche into your next Psychic phase. That's okay. Not bad. There's some pretty good ones there. The Jump, probably the most popular one. The Crunch is quite good fun. Headbanger is difficult but nasty. And then Warpath is useful. I can imagine you could take Warpath and the Jump, give Warpath to a unit, give them their +1 attack, and then make them jump. And then you've got a psyched up unit with bonuses moving rapidly across the table. That's the options that are available for the Weird Boy, and it's a cheap choice, so I'd rate that as a good option for sure. So looking good so far for the Orks. Boss Snickrot is next, power level 4 for him. Named characters, 70 points including all your war gear. Movement 6, weapon skill 2+, ballistic skill 5+, strength 6, toughness 5, 6 wounds, 6 attacks, leadership 7 and 6 up save. It's got Mork's Teeth and Stick Bombs. Mork's Teeth is strength for the user, which is strength 6, AP -1, 2 damage. It's pretty nasty. Usual Ork rules, Cunning Infiltrator. During deployment, you can set up Snickrot in hiding instead of placing on the battlefield, just the usual Deep Strike rules for that. Terrifying Killer, -1 for leadership characteristic of enemy units whilst within 6 inches of him. Throat Slitter, add 1 to the wound rolls for attacks made by Snickrot's melee weapons when targeting enemy units wholly within or on a terrain feature. And then Red Skull Commandos, reroll hit rolls of 1 in the fight phase for attacks made by friendly Blood Axe Commandos, units whilst within 6 of him. And then the Sneakiest Git, add 3 instead of 1 to saving throws for Snickrot whilst he is receiving the benefit of cover. Pretty good. So you get a free up save in cover. Cool. So Snickrot, not too bad, really pretty cheap. Next is Boss Zagstruck. 88 points. So this is a great thing about Orks, you get HQs cheap with them. Power level 5, movement 12, weapon skill 2+, ballistic skill 5+, strength 6, toughness 4, 6 wounds, 6 attacks again, leadership 7, and a 4 up save. He's armed with the Vulture's Claws, a Slugger, Chopper, and Blitz missiles. Blitz missiles? Only one model per army. Blitz missiles then, range 18, assault 1. AP -1, D and D3 damage. Okay, not that much to be afraid of. A Slugger, seen the rules for that. Chopper, you just get an extra attack for a Chopper, and then the Vulture's Claws, +2 strength, he fights at strength 8, AP -3, and then D3 damage. Each time he fights, he can make no more than 3 attacks with this weapon. Now I should have to use something else. Okay. Full throttle. When Boss Zagstruck advances, you can add 6 to the move instead of a D6. On a 1, he suffers a mortal wound. Cyborg Body. Each time he loses a wound, a 5+, you don't lose the wound. You cannot make Doc's Tools roll this model if you do so. And then Drill Boss. Friendly Goth Storm Boys automatically pass morale tests whilst within 6 inches of him. That's pretty good. And then Storm Boys Strike. During deployment, you can set up this model flying in the air. It's the usual rules. You can then deep strike down. Okay. Yeah, not bad. Do love the Storm Boys. They're fantastic models. And it looks like a pretty good HQ to accompany them as well. Yeah. Not too bad at all. Right, so Death Killer War Trike next. This is the new model. It's starting at 120 points for this unit, so one of the more expensive Ork HQs. The War Trike is power level 6, movement 14, weapon skill 2+, ballistic skill 5+, strength 5, toughness 6, 8 wounds, loads of wounds, 5 attacks, so love 5 attacks, that's great, leadership 7 and a 4 up save. He's armed with a Killer Jet. The crew is armed with a Snagger Claw and 3 twin boomsticks. So the Killer Jet then, let's just get this right here, is 0 points. A Snagger Claw is 0 points as well. Twin boomsticks is 0 points. So that's it, just a flat 120 points. The killer jet then, when attacking this weapon you choose one of the two profiles. You can go for burner, which is range 8, assault d6, so you could roll that 1. It's strength 5 -1 on 1 damage, and it's auto hits on the target, so just a heavy flamer. A cutter, assault 2, so 2 shots even 5s, strength 8 -4 d6 damage. If the target's within half range, roll 2 dice to discard the lowest. Alright, so the cutter there, but still unreliable firepower. The snagger claw for shooting is range 8, assault 1, strength 4, AP 0, 1 damage. You can reroll wound rolls made for attacks with this weapon. And then in melee, it's +2 strength, so you're fighting at strength 7, AP -2 and D3 damage. You can reroll wound rolls for attacks made with this weapon. I just don't see this being that amazing. Really. And the boomstick then, assault 2, so you've got 3 of them. So you can have assault 6, range 12, strength 5, AP 0, 1 damage, and then if it's within half range, which is going to be 6 inches, you get +1 to hit rolls. So the firepower isn't that great, really, not really. And the close combat isn't that great either, really. The snagger's claw isn't as good as a power claw. Power claw's ×2 strength. This is only +2. It's -3. This is -2. D3 damage. There's no -2 hit rolls though, so you're going to get your 2+ to hit, which is better. Speed war. Friendly, clan, biker, and vehicle units within 6 inches of this model. Start the charge phase can charge even if they advance this turn. It's just like the war boss rules. Fuel mixer grot. Once per battle, when this model advances, add 6 to the move characteristic for that movement phase instead of rolling a dice. And then you've got explodes here actually. Units within 3 inches on a 6. 6+ when it explodes. 3 inches, it's a mortal wound. So, the war trike then. Yeah, it's just, wouldn't be that blown away by it. It looks utterly amazing. It looks fantastic. It really does look good. But it's okay. Not bad. So that's him. Right, and you got Captain Badruck. Next, he is power level 5. So 84 points, and then you can take an ammo runt for 4 points with him. Weapon skill, or movement 5, weapon skill 2+, ballistic skill 4+, strength 4, toughness 4, 6 wounds, 4 attacks, leadership 8, and a 3-up save. It's an incredible model. I mean, the paint job, always admired the paint job that Games Workshop have done on this model here. He really does look amazing. One of the older models, but looks really, really good. The ammo runt, I'll go for its stats. Movement 5, weapon skill 5+, 4+ ballistic skill, strength 2, toughness 2, 1 wound, 1 attack, leadership 4, and a 6-up save. He's armed with slugger, chopper, stick bombs, and the Ripper. He can be accompanied by an ammo runt, and he won Captain Badruck per army. So, the Ripper, shooting weapon, you choose one of the profiles. You can go for heavy 3, range 24, this is standard, strength 7, -3, and 2 damage. And then supercharge, heavy 3, strength 8, -3, 3 damage. If you're any unmodified hit rolls of 1, you take a mortal wound. It's a nasty weapon. You are hitting on 4+ actually, so it's a decent shooting weapon here. God, it really is pretty nasty if you get your hits. He's got a 5+ invuln save. Just checking everything else. Yeah, flashiest gits. Reroll hit rolls of 1 in the shooting phase for friendly flash gits units whilst they're in 6. That's a great bonus. If you're a fan of the flash gits, Badruck's well worth taking. His weapon's brilliant. And the ammo runt, you can reroll 1 hit roll each time he shoots. Excellent. And it's not 1 use only. That is really, really good. When rolling to wound this unit, use Badruck's toughness. This is the rules here for the little runt of his model. The death of an ammo runt is ignored for morale, and it's considered to be a character for the purposes of shooting. So yeah, Badruck's great. So yeah, if you're a fan of the flash gits, then here's an excellent HQ. Brilliant looking model, and the rules are pretty good. So Badruck's great. Okay, so that's all the HQs. We'll go on to troops choices next. So you've got your standard Ork boy. It's power level 4 for a unit of 10. I think they've gone up in points. I could be wrong. I'm sure they used to be 6 points. But boys now are 7 points a time. So unit of 10 is going to cost you 70 points. Still cheap though. You get movement 5, weapon skill 3+, ballistic skill 5+, strength 4, toughness 4, 1 wound, 2 attacks, leadership 6, and a 6-up save. I think, again, I haven't played Orks for ages, but I think they used to be tough, strength 3, and then +1 if they charged. I could be wrong on that one. And then toughness 4. But now, if it has been changed, it is strength 4, toughness 4, always. So that's good. Maybe that's justifying the extra points increase of them. You can go for a unit of 10, or you can add up to 10 more or 20 more. So you can go for units of 30, and then the knob can take the place of 1 orc. It's not going to cost you any extra. The knob then gets extra strength, strength 5, an extra wound, and an extra attack, and leadership 7, so leadership 6. So yeah, take the knob. That's going to help the unit out. Now, boys have improved because the options are available to them as well. Some exciting prospects for them here. So slugger, chopper, and stick bombs. The chopper still gives you your extra attack. So 10 orc boys is 30 attacks on the charge, plus the little extras that you get for the knob. The slugger is still pistol 1, range 12, strength 4, AP 0, and 1 damage. But here, any orc boy may replace its chopper and slugger with a shooter. So you can go for shooty boys, which is range 18, assault 2, strength 4, AP 0, 1 damage. And still the orc boys with shooters are decent enough in combat. You're still getting your 2 attacks anyway. But I prefer slugger and chopper because I'm geared towards combat. For every 10 models in the unit, 1 orc boy may take a tank buster bomb. So this is a great development here. So all of a sudden, regular orc boy unit, you can bury a model in there that's carrying a nasty bit of anti-tank kit. And it's fair because it reflects the plastic sprue, the kit that you get for orc boys. It does come with these like tank mines or tank buster bombs. So it's Games Workshop just giving the options that you do get in the plastic kit. So those models that you got that are carrying those, I've got a few of them that are carrying those like plate mine type things. It's a round thing with a handle. There's now rules for it here. So the tank buster bomb, range 6, grenade D3, so you could get 3 shots out of it. Strength 8, -2, and D6 damage. Now what's the cost? Oh, what? No way. 0? 0? For every 10 models in unit, 1 boy may take a tank buster bomb. And it will cost you nothing. Wow. that is brilliant. So, you know, you got units, you got a mob of 30 boys, all of a sudden, if you get in range 6, you could chuck out 3d3 strength 8 -2 d6 damage. You could bust a tank now with orc boys. Brilliant. It's so good. For every 10 models in the unit, 1 boy may replace its chopper with a slugger, chopper and slugger with a rocket launcher or a big shooter. So those options are available as well. Big shooter is nice and cheap, 5 points, and then 12 points as well for the rocket launcher. So we know the big shooters, assault 3, range 36, we've covered that already. Strength 5, AP 0, 1 damage, decent enough. And then the rocket launchers. So if you might be kitting out a mob of 30 boys and primarily going for close combat, but in amongst that you can add a nice bit of anti-tank sting to it as well, with multiple rocket launchers, nicely buried inside the unit, and then some grenades in there free of charge. Wow. So here we go, mob brawl, daka. The green tide, add 1 to the attacks characteristic of models in this unit whilst it contains 20 or more models. So I usually go for mechanized orcs, but if you're going to go for on foot, blobs of them, you're going to get your bonus there of an extra attack, so pushing them up to 4 attacks there if you take slugger and chopper as well. So excellent. So I think an improvement for orc boys, big time. So So that's good news there. I think all players are going to be very happy with that. Now, we haven't even got on to the bonuses that you're going to see later on. So already here, it's looking good. But Ork Boys is the way to go. I play the mechanised. You're looking at trucks, or you can do them on foot. If you're going to go on foot, then you take big blobs of them, units of 20, units of 30, and now you can add in some great upgrades. Gretchen. Next, Gretchen cost 3 points here each. Power level 1, movement 5, weapon skill 5+, ballistic skill is 4+, strength 2, toughness 2, 1 wound, 1 attack, leadership 4 and a 6 up save. You can take 10 of them, you can add up to 10 more or 30 of them, and they're armed with grot blasters, which is range 12, pistol 1. So interesting there, you can use them in combat. Strength 3, AP 0 and 1 damage, Daka Daka Daka. Surprisingly dangerous in large numbers. That's a pretty one. Oh dear, add 1 to the hit rolls. That's really good. Add 1 to the hit rolls for attacks made by models in this unit whilst this contains 20 or more models. Little monkeys get an extra bonus to their hit rolls if there's loads of them. Pretty good. Gone are the days when you took Gretchen with auto guns. The old, I can't remember what edition it was, but the plastic Gretchen used to come with auto guns, you know, range 24, like las guns basically. But no, there's pistols here. But interesting. So that's Gretchen, but people find use for them tactically. Again, great for screening your army, that kind of thing, holding on to objectives, that kind of option. So that's Gretchen. So on to elites now. As all of the options here, fast attack, elites, and heavy support. There's just tons of options for the Orks. It's such a diverse army now. There's loads and loads of options. But anyway, you've got a character here, Mad Doc Grotznik. 86 points all in, power level 5, movement 5, weapon skill 2+, ballistic skill 5+, strength 5, toughness 5, 4 wounds, 4 attacks, leadership 8 and a 4 up save. He's armed with a slugger, a power claw, which is included in your price, and the Urti syringe, only 1 model per army. So your slugger, covered that, power claw, we already know that one, Urti syringe, strength of the user, AP 0 1 damage. Each time he fights, make an additional attack with this weapon. If it wounds on a 4+, unless it's targeting a vehicle, it always wounds on a 4+ unless it's targeting a vehicle monster, a vehicle or titanic unit, sorry, in which case it wounds on a 6+. Nothing really scary there. Here we go. The usual rules for Orks. Cyborg body. Each time he loses a wound, on a 5+, the wound is not lost. You can't make a Doc's Tools roll for this model if you do so. 1 scalpel short of a med pack. At the start of the charge phase, if Mad Doc Grotznik is not within 3 inches of another friendly Ork infantry unit, not within an inch of an enemy unit, and is within 12 inches of an enemy unit, he will automatically attempt to charge the nearest enemy unit. He can do so even if he advanced or fell back in the same turn. So he just goes nuts if he hasn't got any friends nearby. Doc's Tools. Roll a d6 each time a friendly Ork infantry or biker unit loses a wound whilst it's within 3 inches of Grotznik. On a 6 it's not lost. This is not punitive of Doc's Tools. And then Sawbones. At the end of the movement phase, Mad Doc Grotznik can attempt surgery on a single friendly infantry or biker model within an inch. So he's got to move there. You've got to move the unit to you, or you've got to move to that unit to get within range. If he does so, roll a d6 to determine if the surgery is successful. On a 1 it fails, and the model you're attempting to heal loses a wound. On a 2+ it succeeds. It's d3 wounds restored. 1 attempt per turn. That's useful. 86 points. I don't usually bother him. I usually go for just a regular pain boy, which is this one, power level 3, and they're elites. Pain boy is 52 points. You've got to pay for your power claw. On top of that, add another 13 points, and that's all you're going to be paying for. You get movement 5, weapon skill 3+, ballistic skill 5+, strength 5, toughness 4, 4 wounds, 4 attacks, still get 4 attacks, leadership 6 up save. Grotznik is a fair bit better, you know, better save, tougher, and better for hitting close combat. But you still get your power claw. Still get sawbones there, so you're doing your surgery. I guess the paintball you do get grot orderly. I can't find the cost of it in here, so I think it just comes as part of the war gear. Yeah, I think it is, because look, it's not mentioned here. You know, may take a grot orderly, it doesn't mention that, just so it automatically comes with it. Just the way that the grot is mounted up on top of the model, not like a model that's accompanying. They've incorporated it into the stat line here, so you get your grot orderly without the charge. Once per battle, you can re-roll the dice when determining if it's attempted to heal using the sawbones ability. So if you roll that dreaded 1, so you've got a, it's happened to be a couple of times, you've got a character 1 wound left, you try and do your surgery, roll a 1, you die because of a surgical blunder, you do get your reroll. And sometimes it happens towards the end of a game, you've got no command points left, you've got no rerolls available. Thankfully, if you have the grot orderly, you will get that reroll, so that's very, very, very useful. I'd probably only ever use it for fear of rolling that, re-rolling and getting a 1. Only ever use it when you roll that 1, just to bail you out of trouble. Doc's tools available as well. So units, infantry or bike units in 3 inches. On 6 you're not going to lose that wound. So, you know, a big horde army, in the centre is the pain boy, and you're going to be ignoring those wounds come through. So that is useful. I think it's well worth taking a pain boy. In close combat, it's not bad at all. It's not too bad at all. So, yeah, the pain boy's pretty good. Next is a mech. This is the smaller mech here, not a big mech, but he does have some benefits. But a regular mech here is 22 points. So cheap. I don't really, but well, yeah, no, well, this is the plastic one that they released. It's a brilliant looking model. It really is really, really nice. Power level 2, movement 5, weapon skill 3 plus, ballistic skill 5 plus, strength 4, toughness 4, 3 wounds, 2 attacks, leadership 6, and 6 up save. Grot Oiler is an option. So you've got the custom Mega Slugger is your option here. Again, you might want to take a mech from the index perhaps, because it gives you more options. Like you can take a custom Mega Blaster, I think, for example. Not sure on that one, but here you're restricted to the Mega Slugger, which is the pistol, range 12. Strength 8 minus 3 and D6 damage, but it's only 1 shot. Any unmodified hit rolls of 1, it's a mortal wound. Chopper, you can take a kill saw, which is, we've covered that already. Stick bombs. So mechanic, yeah, you can repair a wound a turn. So it's not D3, so it's okay, but it's not that great. And the Grot Oiler there is once per battle an additional wound if you wanted to pay the extra 4 points just to restore 1 extra wound for that. So mechs are okay, but they wouldn't do as good a job as a big mech. Runford here is next, power level 2. 35 points. I doubt you're going to pay anything here for grab a stick. No, it's 0. And Slugger. The grabber stick is power level 2. 3 plus, weapon skill, ballistic skill 5 plus, movement 5, strength 4, toughness 4, 4 wounds, 3 attacks, leadership 7, 6 up save. The grabber stick is plus 1 strength, so he's on strength 5, and you get an extra attack. That's it. You can replace the grabber stick with a Grot Prod, which will be plus 2 strength and AP minus 1 on 1 damage. You may take either a Grot Lash or a Squig Hound. So Grot Lash, 0, and Squig Hound, 0. Usual Orc rules. The Runford. If your army is battle forged, you must include at least 1 unit comprised entirely of Gretchen infantry in a detachment for each Runford unit in that detachment. Fair enough. The Runford units do not take up slots in detachment. Okay. Squig Hound. If unit comprised entirely of Gretchen infantry fails a morale test whilst within 3 inches of any Runford, Runford models with a Squig Hound ignore the result. D3 models from the unit are slain instead. Okay. Or you can go for Grot Lash. Reroll hit rolls of 1 in the fight phase for attacks made by units comprised entirely of Gretchen infantry whilst within 3 inches of any friendly Runford models with a Grot Lash. So to get those benefits, you could take 1 of each, 2 Runfords, but then you'd have to take 2 units of Gretchen, and then you sort of cluster together and grant the benefits to each other that way. Okay, that's the Runford there. Next, elites is Burner Boys next. So burner boys start off at 12 points. You can go for 5 of them, 5 more, or up to 10 more. For every 5 models in the unit, a spanner can take the place of a burner boy. Each burner boy is armed with a burner and stick bombs. Each spanner is armed with stick bombs and either a custom mega blaster, big shooter, or rocket launcher. So you can add in those options there. So the usual stat line for Orks, same as an Ork boy, for both the burner boy and the spanner. So we want to know is the cost for the burner is 0. Okay, just incorporate into the cost. They're 12 points a time. So unit of 10 is 120 points. They are a bit fragile. You're on a 6-up save, and whenever you go elite infantry for Orks, if they're not well protected, the opponent's going to try and, you know, pick on them because you paid more points. They're more dangerous. Same for tank busters. You need to protect them as well. So you can do it. You can put them inside transports and so on, which I think would be the way to use these. So the burner is range 8, so this is, you need to get up close here. Assault D3, strength 4, AP 0-1 damage. Before a unit fires this weapon, roll once for the number of attacks and use this for all burners fired by the unit to the end of the phase, and it's auto hits. So you've got a unit of 10 of them, you're either going to get between 10, you're going to get 10, 20 or 30 hits, depending on what you roll on one dice. Useful for Overwatch as well. You know, if you get charged, you're going to get the same kind of shooting in Overwatch. The custom Mega Blaster then is 9. The problem here is the cost of the burner has been put into the cost of the model, 12 points. If you then say, right, I'll take a custom Mega Blaster, you've got to pay the extra 9 points. On top of, you know, you've already paid for the burner, but you're just not taking that and then taking the custom Mega Blaster. You can go down that route if you want, but you end up playing twice, I think, for weapons. Range 24 though, Assault 1, Strength 8, -3 and D6 damage is an excellent weapon. Mortal wounds if you roll any unmodified hit rolls of 1. Rocket launcher we've seen. The burner in melee as well, pretty good. Strength the user, Strength 4 and AP -2. So all round it's a decent enough unit. Guess one of the other dangers is if you flame the close unit, the opponent takes all the close models, and you've got a longer charge distance to try and get in with your AP -2 weapons. But you could flame one unit, charge something else. So you can get these in numbers close enough, they'd be deadly for sure. Pyromaniacs. If this unit destroys an enemy unit in the shooting phase, it automatically passes morale tests to the start of your next turn. Okay, and then you've got the mechanic rules there. For the spanner. Yeah. So you've got the ability to repair. Cool. Let's just see if you have to pay for the spanner. Yep. Don't think so. No. The spanner's just the same points cost. So I don't usually use burner boys, but I think they're okay. Yeah, not too bad. Alright, tank busters, my favourites here, and I think these have improved. As you'll see again later on, you'll see some of the little adjustments you can make, little bonuses that make them that much more better. So tank busters, starting off at 5 points, then you pay your 12 points for your rocket launcher. So you're looking at 17 points, so these are expensive. You do need to protect them. You can't walk them around on foot, they'll get blown away very, very easily. So yeah, unit of 10, 170 points for them. But the damage potential from them can be horrific if you roll well enough. Same usual stat line for them. Knob, usual stat line for the knob. And then you've got the bomb squig here. Power level 4 by the way. Is movement 5, weapon skill and ballistic skill 2+, strength 3, toughness 4, 1 wound, 1 attack, leadership 4 and a 6-up saves. They do have a stat line. You have to take unit 5, you can take 5 more or 10 more. A boss knob can take the place of 1 tank buster. For every 5 tank busters, a boss knob in the unit may be accompanied by up to 2 bomb squigs. they've not changed it. They kept that the same. Yeah, because I used to take 8 and I can only take 2 bomb squigs. It's the same. I need to take 10. Now I can take 4 bomb squigs. Each tank buster and boss snob is armed with rocket launcher, stick bombs, and tank buster bombs as well. Each bomb squig carries a squig bomb. So for every 5 and/or boss snobs in the unit, of tank busters and/or boss snobs in the unit, 1 tank buster may replace his rocket launcher with a tank hammer. And then for every 5 tank busters and/or boss snob in the unit, 1 tank buster may replace their rocket launcher with a pair of rocket pistols. So rocket pistols then is 12 points for them, and then the tank hammer is 10 points for that. The idea of the tank hammer is fantastic. I really do like it. So the tank hammer is a melee weapon. Each time the bearer fights, you can only make a single attack with this weapon. If it hits, you're just looking for your hit, which is 3+ to hit in close combat. The target suffers D3 mortal wounds, but then the bearer is slain, so you lose the actual model. Whether that's worth it, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if that's worth the points paying out there. You're looking at 15 points to cause between 1 and 3 wounds. Yeah. What tank hammers would be good at is taking out characters. There'd be a cheeky way to play them. Say you charge into a very elite character with a 2-up save, a 3-up invuln save, and hard as nails, solid as a rock, and then you just smack him with a couple of tank hammer weapons and inflict a load of mortal wounds, which can't be stopped. Now that's the way to play them. So there's a bit of a sneaky way to play tank hammers. I'm thinking you charge into a vehicle, it's got 12 wounds, and you cause, say, 3 wounds, and you lost 2 of your models you pay 30 points for. Or you charge into some elite character that the opponent's paid 150 points for, and then they've got, say, 4 or 5 wounds, and then just plaster them a load of mortal wounds and remove them from the board. That's a nice, nasty way of doing it. Cool. Because then with the tank hammer as well, you've got no shooting option either, because you're swapping it out for your rocket launcher. So I still depend on the standard rocket launcher with its strength 8 -2 and a standard and a guaranteed 3 damage every time. Absolutely brilliant. The rocket pistols, you can fire them in close combat. That's range 12, pistol 2, strength 7, AP -2 and D3 damage. Still go with the rocket launcher. I usually put mine in a truck or another type of transport vehicle, but a truck at least to protect them to some degree. So that's that. So the bomb squig, just cover this first of all. Squig bomb, range 18. So you've got your unit disembarked, or it's inside a vehicle, and you let loose with the little squigs. They've got an 18-inch range. You can use them in close combat, by the way, 2s to hit and have the same kind of effect, but here for shooting, you're on 2s to hit the targets. They're very well trained. Assault 1. They could have put a rule in there. If you miss with the squig, it runs off and detonates at the closest unit, friend or foe, something like that. So that would be fun. But anyway, assault 1, strength 8, -2 and D6 damage. It's a nasty weapon. You can't target units that can fly, but for average vehicle, nasty enough, and they're 1 use only. Bearer is slain. Death of the bomb squig is ignored for purposes of morality. To remember that, don't let your morale stack up because you've chosen to remove some of them from play. But that's the squig bomb. So tank hunters, you can reroll hit rolls of 1 made for attacks made by this unit against vehicles. So you're on 5s to hit. Rerollable is so useful for the Orks, and that's why I'd rate the tank busters. You take a unit of 10, you're going to get like 3 hits, then you reroll, you're going to get 5 hits. All of a sudden 5 hits is big trouble for whatever you're targeting. So that's what I'm thinking of there for the tank busters. So rerollable. Now, what makes these even better is the Dakka special rule. Say you got your 5 hits, 2 or 3 of them are 6s, you got a chance then to roll up some more shots, which are then re-rollable as well. So your 5 hits could turn into 6, 7 hits with that unit. So a major enhancements for units like tank busters. That Dakka rule does apply to them, even on their heavier weapons. So a big help that for the Orks. So Games Workshop have seen that they've been making weapons nastier now for units throughout all the codexes, and Orks have received the same treatment as well. The weapons just seem to have a bit more of a bite to them, and with the help of, again I'm pointing you to later on in the video, but with the help of some of the bonuses, you really can make some exceptionally nasty combinations. So that's them. I rate tank busters. I think they're great. They need to stick them inside the transport though to protect them. I wouldn't go for a massive unit of them because the opponent knows they're excellent. We'll just try and blow them away. I go for smaller units of like 8. This is the size I usually go for. With a couple of squigs. Units of knobs then. Regular knobs, which are decent enough. And a cheaper option than the mega knobs. So knobs are 14 points a time. You still get your 3+ weapon skill, ballistic skill 5+. There's strength 5, which is brilliant. Toughness 4, 2 wounds, 3 attacks, which is excellent. Leadership 6, and they come with 4 up save, which is great. And the boss knob, you just get. He's the same, just the bonus to the leadership. Leadership 7. See, it's between 1 and. You take 5 of them, include another 5. And then each knob and boss knob is armed with a slugger, chopper and stick bombs. For every 5 in the unit can be accompanied by an ammo runt. So your options then, any number of models may replace its slugger and chopper with items from the knob weapon list. So this is where you can do a real configuration of what you want. So knob weapons, you can go for big chopper, which you've seen already, a chopper, a kill saw, we've seen that, a power claw, a power stabber, which some Ork players rate that one, and a slugger. So the power stabber is the only one we haven't looked at. Power stabber, strength user, strength 5, and AP -2. Alright, so not bad. Not bad for causing wounds, fighting against Astra Militarum, Tau, Space Marines. AP -2 is decent enough. Yeah, pretty good. And the great thing about it is it's probably cheap. 3 points. God. Yeah. So I would go, by default, I'd give them all power stabbers by default for the sake of 3 points, and then add in a couple of them, giving them special weapons like power claws and so on. Yeah, power stabber's excellent. So you've got the ammo runt there for your shooting, keep in order. Cyborg body, each time model with a cyborg body loses a wound, roll a 6, and on a d6, roll a 6, the wound is not lost. So there's that. I just take a pain boy, so that does the same thing. For every 5, 1 knob or boss knob may have a cyborg body, which will cost you 5 points. Oh, I can't see the point in doing that. 5 points for the chance of, on 2 wounds, of getting a 6. No, I wouldn't bother with that at all. I'll take the pain boy and grant it to the entire unit. No, there's no way I wouldn't do that one. Okay. Yeah, not weapons. Yeah. And then one weapon can be chosen from the following list. Right, so there's your options there. You can go for combo weapon with rocket launcher, combo weapon with a scorcher. So that's where you take your ammo runt. Okay, but knobs, units and knobs are taken for close combat, and I give them sort of a mixed bag of weapons. So they can take on heavy infantry, heavy and medium infantry. I'd be looking to use those to fight against, and if you need to put them in against hordes, they should smash their way through pretty good. But again, you've got to be careful because they can be targeted, so you've got to be wise with the Orks and protect your more elite units as best as you can. Next is the WAB banner, 75 points. God, it's expensive enough to start off with. It's power level 4. The wild banner itself is 0. The custom shooter, so that's 2 points, I believe, chopper and stick bombs. You can't change the war gear around here. So movement 5, 3+ weapon skill, 5+ ballistic skill, strength 5, toughness 4, 4 wounds, 3 attacks, leadership 6 and a 4 up save. Usual rules. The banner itself is +2 strength, so you find it strength 7, it's AP 0 and 2 damage. The banner then is add 1 to the hit rolls in the fight phase for attacks made by whatever clan units whilst they're within 6 inches of any friendly knobs with WoW banners. So it's WoW banners plural, so I think you can only, maximum you can do is only add 1. You can't stack them up and add 2 +3 or whatever. But that is useful. It's helpful for units that are carrying things like power claws with a -1. That cancels it out and puts it back to 0 again. And you've got the keeping order option as well. Okay, but it's quite expensive. And this is a little bit redundant to a degree because there's ways now of getting around the -1 to your hit rolls because of some of the relics and stratagems and so on. So the need for him isn't quite as much, but I can still see the importance of having him, but it's like 75 points you have to spend, and he needs to get keep within 6 inches of those units to grant that. So if you've got one elite unit, it's bombed off ahead, it's gone into combat, but it's outside of 6 inches of the WoW banner, then your bonuses aren't going to help. So he's got to stay up, keep up with the main charge as well. So there's that, trying to organise that as well. Right, Mega Knobs, one of my favourite units. They look absolutely brilliant. The plastic kit's amazing. And inside there you have your option to make the big mech in Mega Armour as well, inside that kit. Power level 6 for these. I think they've taken a big points reduction, which is brilliant news. My list I've been working on, it's on the Plus channel, or going to be on the Plus channel. I've saved a fair chunk of points and I've been able to expand the army, which has been great news. But Mega Knobs here, they're 20 points each. Yeah, I'm sure these have come down. They're 20 points a time. The custom shooter is 2 points. I think it used to be 4 or 6, so that's dropped. And then the power claw's 13. So you're looking at 35 points a time now. So I think these have dropped. 35 points a time. Movement 4, weapon skill 3+, ballistic skill 5+, strength 5, toughness 4, 3 wounds, 3 attacks, leadership 6, and 2 up saves. Really is cool. We know the rules for these. You can go for, you replace the custom shooter with and power claw with 2 kill saws. With the 2 kill saws, it's still -1 to hit rolls, but you do get the extra attack with them, so you get 4 attacks. For him, one of them that I have, kill saw Carl, he takes the 2 kill saws. And that's ×2 strength, AP -4, and 2 damage time. Any model may replace its custom shooter with a combi weapon with a scorcher, or combi weapon with a rocket launcher. Can go for the scorcher, but that's going to cost you an extra 15 points a time to take that. Or a combi weapon with a rocket launcher, and that's going to cost you an extra 10 points a time. So I'd rather leave the job of firing rocket launchers to tank busters you've paid the points for, they get the rerolls, and leave it with them, and then just leave these guys to do their close combat attacks, keep the points cost of the unit down, because now these are cheap enough. Yeah, you're not paying out too much for these. 140 points for 4 of them. Yeah, unless I'm incorrect, but I think that's about the points cost of them. So that's really good, that. So then you have keeping order. So these guys can be used. This is, they're not characters here, but these guys can be used to keep other orcs in line. So you've got orc boys nearby, they foul them out, and if they're in 3 inches of these mega knobs, then yeah, roll d6 for each model that flees from a clan unit within 3 inches of any friendly clan units with this ability. Right, so it's not the same, it's not an auto pass. 6 is here it says, when the morale test is taken on a 6, that model does not flee. So you had 3 models that fled from an Ork Boys unit. They were within 3 inches of the Mega Nob unit. They're all 3 dice, any 6s, the models are restored. So cool, they're all easy to forget that one, but useful enough. So that's that one. Knobs on war bikes, the option's still here in the new codex. Power level 7. Still on elites here. 38 points a time, you add your upgrades on top. Movement 14, weapon skill 3+, just the usual stat line here, but the toughness is 5 now because they're on the bike. And you get an extra wound. No, you're not. You're 3 wounds, the same amount of wounds as the Mega Nobs. And a 4-up save for being on the bike. You take a unit of 3 of them, you can take 3 more, or 6 more. So you have to go up to units of 9. Each model is equipped with a chopper and rides a war bike equipped with 2 Daka guns. Daka guns will cost you 0, so you're not paying anything for your shooting options. Daka guns is assault free, you've got 2 of them, so it's 6 shots. Remember your Daka special rule as well. Range 18, strength 5, AP 0 and 1 damage. So you can lay down a lot of firepower with these. And you got access to the Nob weapons. Again, so you give them all power stabbers or whatever you want to there. So yeah, decent enough option. And you got the keeping order special rule for them as well. Next is commandos. Again, we're still in elites here. So commandos, 8 points a time. Take 5 of them. You can take 5 more, 10 more. You can take the boss knob. Oh right, you don't get an option here. A boss knob can take the place of a commando and is armed with a power claw, slugger and stick bomb. So you have to take that configuration, which is okay, you get 3 attacks. Each commando is armed with a chopper, slugger and stick bombs. 1 commando in every 5 is armed with a tank buster bomb, so they have that option as well. So usual rules for Orks. Cunning infiltrators. During deployment you may set up this unit in hiding, so to place it onto the battlefield at the end of the unit. That's a deep strike basically. Sneaky gets add 2 instead of 1 to save and throws models in this unit whilst they're in cover. So if you're in cover you've got 4-up saves, not that great a bonus, but it'll help there. And then throat slitters. Add 1 to wound rolls for attacks made by this unit's melee weapons when targeting enemy units wholly within or on a terrain feature. And that's about it. So it's basically infiltrating Orks with a little bit of a bonus to their armor save. And that is about it. Okay. But decent enough fun. Fun enough nonetheless. Well, hang on a second. An Ork boy is 7 points. A commando's 8. Yeah. So these are cheap. No, these are cheap enough. I mean, these are actually exceptionally good value. Yeah, you're paying 1 extra point, and for 1 point, it's granting you the ability to deep strike, to add 1 to your wound rolls when you're targeting unit in terrain, and plus 1 to your armor save and cover. Yeah. So commandos seem a great option here. I'd be surprised if they become more and more popular. I can't remember what the points cost. I'm sure there used to be a lot more in points, quite expensive, but here you're looking at a 1 point difference. Very good. Ork Warbikers next here. We're on to fast attack now for the Orks. 23 points a time. Your Daka guns are free of charge, you're not paying any points for them, so unit of 10 is 230 points. It is a lot. But you've got your toughness 5, your 2 wounds, the 2 attacks and the 4-up saves. They're a lot tougher. Movement 14 for them. So you take unit of 3, 3 more, 6 more or 9 more. So you can go up to unit of 12, and then you take the boss knob. You get the 2 Daka guns, slugger and chopper for them. The boss knob has access to knob weapons, and any model may take stick bombs. And that's about it. So you just tougher, quicker, and lots of Daka for them. Now, where's Dust Cloud gone? I'm sure there's a Dust Cloud rule for these. No. Okay. Custom Booster Blasters next. Right, so now we're on to some of the new models. So the custom booster blaster is 100 points. It's power level 5. Power level 4, by the way, for the bikers. Power level 2 for commandos. 7 for the knobs. 6 for the mega knobs. 7 for the knobs. The white banner is 4. Tank busters are 4. It's the custom booster blaster. 100 points, and then you add your war gear on top. Just give you the loadout here and points cost. You can, by the way, you can take units of 1, 2, 3 of them. Each model is equipped with a rivet cannon. This is all new stuff here. Rivet cannon 0. A burner exhaust 0. And grot blaster. It's going to be 0. Yep. So that's it. Just 100 points. Yep. So flat 100 points. So for that you get movement 12. Weapon skill 4+, ballistic skill 5+, strength 5, toughness 6, 8 wounds, 4 attacks, leadership 6, and a 4-up save. Only 4+ though in close combat. So you get 4 burner exhaust. So range 8. This is, you're trying to get up close to this. Assault D3. So really it's assault 4D3. They're auto hits on the target. Strength 4, AP 0 and 1 damage. So it's like a flamer attacks that you can do. The grot blaster's insignificant. It's range 12, pistol 1, strength 4, AP 0, 1 damage. The rivet cannon. Range 36, assault 6, you're guaranteed your 6 shots. Should mean you get like 2 hits, at least, on average. Strength 7, -2 and 2 damage. It's not bad a weapon, just the ballistic skill's a problem. And then stick bombs. You get, that's your speed mob rule, we covered that earlier on, but you deploy within a certain range and then you separate units. So the grot gunner gets +1 for attacks made with the grot blaster, insignificant. Riding shotgun. When this model shoots, it can throw a grenade and shoot with its pistol or pistols, in addition to any other weapons. Quite insignificant there as well. Spiked ram. Each time this model finishes a charge move, select an enemy unit within an inch, and roll d6. On a 4+, it's d3 mortal wounds. It's pretty good. And it explodes. That's it. 100 points. I don't know. I think it's quite expensive in points. Yeah. The great thing is there's no damage profile, so you're not going to lose any of your stat line. And close combat, you do some damage. It's all quite average here, so I would rate that one, it's okay. Next is the shock jump dragster. I think this is a better one here. Power level 6. 108 points. You're paying 8 points more. It's quicker. Movement 14. Stat lines running across here is the same. That's it. So you're basically just getting extra 2-inch move. Again, you can take squadrons up to 3. The custom shock rifle is 0. You're not paying any points for that. The rocket launcher, you are going to have to pay points for that. That's going to be your 12 points. Yeah, 12 points just there. And then saw blades, I doubt you're going to have to pay for that. No, it's 0. So you're looking at 120 points. 20 points extra for this model. But the weapon is nasty enough. Custom shock rifle is range 24, assault 2. So you're going to get 2 shots. Strength 8, -3 and d6 damage. It's horrific. I know you're worried about the ballistic skill, but that's covered in a moment. If you're at 1 or more unmodified hit rolls of 1, it's a mortal wound. Each time you make a wound roll of a 6+ this weapon, the target suffers a mortal wound in addition to any other damage. So the way this is better here, the grot gunner and targeting squig add 2 to the hit rolls for attacks made by this model's custom shock rifle. So 5 to hit becomes 3+ to hit all of a sudden. Yeah, you got 2 reliable shots coming through. Wow, actually exceptionally good because you're on +2 to your hit rolls. No, I think Daka's not going to be. You can't modify up. I think each time you roll an unmodified hit roll of 6+ for an attack with a ranged weapon made by this unit, it succeeds. So unmodified in either direction, so either plussed up or minus down. It's 6s. Yeah, it's just an actual dice roll of a 6. You can't say it's +1 to hit rolls. So if I roll a 5, oh yes, now I've got my free hit here with Daka, it doesn't work. You're still going to need actual 6s, I think, in order to get your extra hits. But the custom shock rifle is nasty enough, very accurate, nasty weapon. Then you've got the shock tunnel. Roll a 4+ when advancing with this model. Remove it from the battlefield and set it up anywhere on the battlefield more than 9 inches away from enemy units. After doing so, roll d6 and a 4+ to take a mortal wound. So all of a sudden you could just across the table and appear virtually anywhere. Yep. Now what's interesting about this one as well is turn 1. If this model's already on the board, this isn't a reserve that's arrived. So yes, on turn 1 I believe you could just turn up anyway, as long as you're more than 9 inches away. Bit volatile though, it's only half a chance of you doing it. If you don't pull it off, then you're sort of stuck within the area that you moved in. But an interesting unit, that one. But again, is that quite pricey in points? Because I'm worried opponents will see it and say, oh yeah, I'll fire at that, take it out. But the Boomdacker Snazwagon is next. 95 points for this one. Movement 12, strength 5 for this one. It's the same. Toughness 6, 8 wounds, 4 attacks, leadership 6 and a 4-up save. You can take up to 3 of them. Each model is equipped with Meks special, big shooter. The big shooter is going to be 5 points. Burner bottles for the crew is 0, and a Grot Blaster 0. The Meks special is 0 as well. So you're looking at 100 points with the big shooters. You've got your big shooter, Grot Blaster, Meks special, range 24, assault 9, strength 5, -2, and 1 damage. Interesting weapon. And then burner bottles, range 6, grenade 2d6, so between 2 and 12 shots, strength 4, AP 0, 1 damage. There's no benefit for cover, but you still need to roll to hit though. It's not auto hits. Usual rules. The Grot Gunner is +1 to your Grot Blaster and the big shooter. Billowing Fumes, -1 to hit rolls for attacks made with ranged weapons that target this model. That's helpful. Riding Shotgun, you can throw grenades and shoot pistols. And that's it. When it blows up, it's a 4+ to explode. And each unit within D6 suffers D3 mortal wounds. That's pretty nasty, that one, when it does blow up. So another interesting one. Megatrack Scrap Jets, power level 5. 90 points. Movement 10s, this one's a bit slower. 4+ weapon skill, ballistic skill 5+, strength 6, toughness 6, 9 wounds. All of them keep them without the damage bracket here. 4 attacks, leadership 6 and a 4-up save. Again, you take 3 of them. They're armed with rocket cannon. Whoa! 2 big twin shooters, wing missiles and a nose drill. Cool, I think this thing's armed to the teeth. The rocket cannon is still 0. This one looks pretty good. The twin big shooter, it's going to be 10 points probably. Yep. 2 twin big shooters, so another 20 points. Wing missiles, probably free of charge, yep. A nose drill, which is 0 as well. 90 points plus 20. It's 110. So it's still within the same kind of price line as the others. But it's the rocket cannon I've got my eye on here. Range 24, assault 2d3, so between 2 and 6 shots. You know, average of 3 or 4 shots. Remember your Daka, so you're looking at hopefully 2 or 3 hits, strength 8, -2 and straight 3 damage. It's a decent shooting weapon. So now you can really mechanise your orcs here and just take these buggies and vehicles, and you've got decent firepower. And you can take your bikers there for your dealing with your hordes and close combat against hordes and these vehicles here. The danger of vehicles is when you're charging in, and you stay in close combat, you can't shoot, which is a problem. Spiked ram, that's ending within an inch, and a 4+ is D3 mortal wounds. That's useful as well. So interesting. The nose drill, actually, close combat, +2 strength, you're fighting at strength 8, -2 and D3 damage. And that's with your 4 attacks. Nice. Wing missiles, assault 1, strength 8, -2, 3 damage. Add 1 to the hit rolls for attacks made with this weapon against vehicles. So you're on 4+ to hit with that. -1 to hit rolls for attacks against other targets. So wing missile is useful. And you've got your twin big shooter as well. Yeah, pretty good firepower that can come from that one. Right, this is an interesting one here. The Rocket Truck Squig Buggy. Next. Power level 7, movement 10. 140 points for this one. Weapon skill 4+, ballistic skill 5+, strength 5, toughness 6, 9 wounds, 4 attacks, 6 for leadership, 4 up save. Again, you can take up to 3 of them. A heavy squig launcher, 0. Saw blades, it's going to be 0. Yep. And each model's crew is armed with a squig launcher, shotgun, and stick squigs. Oh, I didn't even know where to look for this. Stick squigs. Here we go, shooting weapon. 0. Oh boy. Squig launcher. Be here. 0. Okay. And a shotgun, which should be 0. Yeah, okay. She's looking at 140 points. So you get a crew here. This is interesting. So the heavy squig launcher. When attacking with this weapon, you choose one of your profiles. So you can fire a bile squig, which is range 36, assault 2d6, so between 2 and 12 shots. And again, it's daka here. Strength. This weapon always wounds on a 4+, unless it's targeting a vehicle or Titanic, in which case it wounds on a 6+. It's AP 0 and 1 damage. It's not that great. Not that scary, really. A bitey squig. Assault 2. Remember, you're only on 5+ to hit. Strength 5, -3 and 2 damage. And then a boom squig, which is better. Assault 2d3. Much better. Strength 6, -1, d3 damage. Why would you even bother with a bitey squig? You definitely want to go with the boom squig. Shotgun. I'm just trying to find the crew. This model contains one rocket truck squig buggy. It can include up to Each model is equipped with a heavy squig launcher and saw blades, and each model's crew is armed with a squig launcher, shotgun, and squig sticks. Alright, so one guy has one of each. So you get one shotgun shot coming through, which is range 12, assault 2, strength 3, AP 0, 1 damage. And you get +1 to the strength if you're within half range. Then the squig launcher, again you choose your profile, so it's just halved of what you get there. So instead of assault 2d6 it's d6, assault 2 it's assault 1, and assault d3 instead of 2d3. So really in combination you're looking at, say the boom squig example, same range, you're looking at assault 3d3, so between 3 and 9 shots, at strength 6 -1 d3 damage. So decent enough. Stick squig, nothing to be scared of here, it's range same as a stick bomb. And saw blades, +1 to your strength, so fighting at strength 6 and then AP -1. But primarily it's shooting, just squigs. Grot gunner, add 1 to hit rolls for attacks made with this model's heavy squig launcher. Right, so you do need to roll it separately because you're on +1 to hit rolls, 4+ to hit. Great, that's very helpful. Riding shotgun, you can fire pistols as well as other weapons, it does explode. So squig mine, once per battle in the movement phase, this model can deploy a squig mine. At any point during this model's move, place the squig mine within an inch of it and more than 3 inches from enemy models. The squig mine is represented by the squig mine model. This does not count as a model for any rules purposes. From the start of the next phase, that squig mine is detonated if any unit, friend or foe, moves within 3 inches of it. Right. So, trying to get my head around this one here, this is awkward. So you place the squig mine within an inch of it, of your own model, and more than 3 inches from enemy models. Then on the next turn, if someone moves to within 3 inches, it's not automatically, if only if someone strays within that 3 inches, which, why would they? Resolve the detonation after the unit that detonated has ended its move. So you could use it to try and block an area, to block an access point or an entrance. You could play it that way. The opponent can't shoot at them, they have to activate it to get rid of it. Yeah, and it's detonated by any unit, friend or foe. So you could place it on top of an objective, for example. The opponent needs to get within 3 inches, you can place your mine on top of that. Resolve the detonation after the unit's finished its move. When a squig mine is detonated, roll d6. On 2 to 3 it inflicts a mortal wound. On a 4 to 5 it's d3. On a 6 it's 3 mortal wounds. The squig mine is then removed from the battlefield. Not that crazy, really, not too bad.